Hello dear trainees and viewers, welcome to the session. Take my warm greetings on behalf of the School of Education, Bangladesh Open University. I hope all of you are hale and hearty. This is Pragati, faculty in English, School of Education, Bangladesh Open University. Today, we will talk about a very interesting topic. I hope we will enjoy. Our today's session is mainly arranged for the trainees of first semester B.Ed program. Our today's topic for discussion is techniques for teaching listening. The topic is taken from Teaching English EDBN 1412 chapter 6.3. Before elaborate discussion of the topic, let me focus on the key points of our today's discussion. The major key points are stages of listening skills practice and tasks for practicing listening skills in the class. Along with these major points, some other related and relevant issues will be focused today. So, let us start now. Dear trainees, we know it very well that language is the tool of communication. If we want to get information from others, or if we want to get and if we just want to know what will be our requirements, we need to ask some question to the people, and people sometimes ask some information and they want to get from us. That means we need communication. But if we don't listen and understand, then the communication doesn't take place. And for this reason, in order to communicate with others, we need to listen and understand at first. In case of foreign language learning, it is really a bit challenging. And for this reason, if we want to be expert in listening skills in English language, we need to practice it very well. And as a foreign language teacher, we need to practice listening skills in the classroom. Being a native speaker in Bangla, it is a bit difficult for us to speak in English and to understand English if we don't practice it frequently. And for practicing listening skills and also speaking skills, that means the English language skills, a foreign language teacher need to practice it in the classroom frequently. And in order to create a congenial atmosphere in practicing listening skills, there are some stages. So, dear trainees, now we will go for our main discussion, that is some stages of practicing listening skills in the classroom. Dear trainees, there are mainly three stages for practicing listening skills in the class: pre-listening, while listening and post-listening. Now I am going to clarify one by one. What do we understand by pre-listening stage? Pre-listening, the term pre means previous, that means before the actual listening activity, teacher needs to do some activities. That is, teacher asks students to do some activities and he or she will give some instructions and guiding questions. And the purpose of this stage is to motivate and create students their interest inside their mind. Otherwise, they will not be motivated and they won't participate in the listening skill practice in the classroom. There are some activities in pre-listening stage. The activities are like introduce the topic or set the scene, present key items of vocabulary and explain the task clearly. Teacher should set the scene using different techniques, that is showing pictures, asking questions or give them some tasks, etc. to introduce the topic. So, dear trainees, I think we have understood that in pre-listening stage, a teacher needs to motivate the students and give some guiding questions or instructions. That means what they will do when the listening practice will be going on. So, now I am going to our next point, that is while listening stage. This is actually the listening part. That means when the student will do their activity, when the teacher will read the text aloud, or sometimes they will listen from the CD, or different ways they will listen and they will do the task according to the instructions of the teacher. So, there are some activities we will get here. The activities are like provide a purpose for listening. Teacher should read the text aloud to the students once, twice or according to the student's need. Teacher should read the text at a normal speed with a clear voice. The purpose of this while listening stage is actually make our students understand the text. If they understand it very well, then they will do the activities, and gradually when they will practice listening in the classroom, then they will be more expert in listening, and for this reason they need to get their interest. Otherwise, it will not be possible for the teacher to do the while listening activity in the classroom. Now, I am going to focus on our last stage, that is post listening stage. That means this is actually the assessment stage or getting feedback. After doing the listening activity, what is the main task? That means what the teacher wants to know from the students, then this is the task for getting some activity from their assessment or feedback session. So, in order to get the feedback, the teacher may do various types of activities. It depends on the language teacher how he or she will get the feedback. So, there are some activities also we will get in this part, that is in post listening stage. Teacher may provide further practice in skills, grammar or vocabulary. Teacher should elicit answers from the students and involve them in further practice. Teachers sometimes may check answers in pairs, and teacher may write the answers on the board, taking them from students. It will be easier for others to check and correct their own answers. So, dear trainees, from the above discussion, I think we have got some ideas. In order to practice listening skills in the classroom successfully, teacher need to monitor the activity and also prepare themselves very well. And in this way, teacher themselves also will be very expert in practicing listening skills, and students will be motivated to practice listening skills in English language, and they will be very much skilled and they feel comfortable using the target language in their future life, and they will use it according to their own way. So, I think we have got some ideas about organizing a listening activity for developing listening skills in the classroom. Now, I am going to focus on our next important point for discussion, that is there are some listening tasks, that means there are some listening activity for practicing and developing listening skills in the classroom. So, as a foreign or second language teacher, we need to know what are those activities. If we practice those activities frequently in the classroom, definitely students will be benefited and they will be skilled and expert in using English language in their future life. So, now we will focus on the listening activity. There are some different task types for practicing listening skills in the classroom. The first one is listen and write. We can dictate some words or we can dictate some sentences, and student will do the activities. Sometimes teacher may describe the person or the description of a personality, and student will write a paragraph in this way. So, student will be skilled in listening and they will write something. Listen and draw. Sometimes teacher can ask some students that some backgrounds or description of a scenery or a person or anything else, and student will draw the picture after listening to the descriptions. In this way, they will be habituated to listen to English. Listen and repeat. At an initial stage, this is a very good technique. We can remember the drill or some tongue twister or some rhymes or poems, and this is a very good technique for practicing listening skills in the classroom. So, if teacher may practice this in the initial stage or after that, it is a really helpful for students' development of listening skills. Listen and predict. This sort of task is really helpful because sometimes teacher may read a story, and after reading a certain text, certain passage or para, then teacher may ask students what will happen next. Then teacher may wait for the answer, for getting the answer. Student will predict, and after listening their answer, then teacher again starts the story, and student will be more interested actually what will happen in the next. In this way, students' listening capability will be increased. Listen and answer. There are a lot of comprehensions, there are a lot of questions in the English for Today textbook. So, sometimes teacher may ask some questions after reading comprehension or reading passage, and student will answer. So, this is a very good and common practice for developing listening skills in the classroom. Listen and decide. This is also a good technique. Sometimes teacher may give some statements and student will say the statements are right or wrong. So, sometimes we know it very well, the true or false. This can be used for practicing listening skills, because students will write T for true statement and will write F for false statement. So, in this way the listening skill practice will be developed and it can be continued by the teacher. Listen and summarize. Students can be asked to write the summary of listening a certain passage or a story or a poem. So, after listening a summary or a passage, then when the student will write down the summary, definitely they will understand it very well, otherwise it is not possible for them to write down the summary. So, this is also a good technique for practicing listening skills in the classroom. Information transfer exercise. This is also a very good technique. Sometimes lot of information transfer exercise can be given through charts, maps, diagrams, and in this way students will be habituated to understand and listen to the teacher, what teacher is giving to the information, what is the information they are getting from the information transfer chart. In this way they will help themselves for developing their listening skills in future. Listen and number, listen and do. Sometimes teacher can write some words on the board and number them, and after then teacher may pronounce the word and ask the students to number. In this way students can listen and write. And another thing is also very important here, sometimes through giving some instructions that pick a piece of paper and throw it into the bin. So, students will do these activities after getting this instruction. So, in this way students will be habituated to listen to the English instructions, English language, and gradually they will be skilled in learning this language very well. After this, there are some other listening skills also we can practice it in our classroom. There are some other task type. Those are listen and complete a family tree, listen and complete a table, listen and fill the gaps, listen and describe, listen and choose. So, dear trainees, these are different types of listening activity what a teacher can practice in the classroom. But here one point is very important. Teachers should make our students understand that there is no necessity of going through the structure or the grammatical item or vocabulary for listening practice. Their main task is to get information or idea. For this reason, teachers sometimes read some simple sentences. If the sentence is too long, then students will lose their motivation and concentration. And for this reason, teacher will break down the sentences in simple sentence and teacher will read it out and student will get the time for thinking and they will listen in this way and they will be habituated. So, in this way if we practice listening skills in our classroom, definitely our students will be more comfortable and skilled in using English language. And we know it very well that learning language means learning 4 language skills equally. So, if you want to practice speaking skills, then definitely we need to practice listening skills. So, among all these 4 skills, listening skills and speaking skills go side by side. So, if we want to be very much expert in English language, then definitely we need to listen at first, we need to practice listening skills very well, and in this way our classroom will be very helpful for our students and they will be motivated and they will feel comfortable in using the target language in future. Dear trainees, we have reached at the end of our today's discussion. Today we have talked about some important aspects of teaching listening, that is some stages in practicing listening skills in the classroom and some different tasks for practicing listening skills. I hope we have got some ideas. In spite of having our today's discussion, if you have any more queries, you may contact with us through the address Dean, School of Education, Bangladesh Open University, Gazipur 1705. Thank you very much for watching the session with patience. Wish to meet you in the next session. Till then, be safe and sound. Good luck.